Sam, as a part of our breakdown for the 2026 season, we're going to do something new. We haven't done this before. We're going to do a positional breakdown. We want to give the people out there listening a little bit of a background of our players and who we got, who we think is going to be important for the season, guys that we envision, because we're definitely the people making decisions here. No, I kid. But just to say, like, hey, this is who we think is going to start. This is who we think is going to maybe be more of a rotational player. And then our wildest guess at, hey, for at least, maybe the talented positions, we're going to see some goals from these guys, some assists, maybe even from Roman, what kind of clean sheets we're looking at as well. So we'll see how this goes. If you guys like it, let us know. If you don't, too bad, we're going to do it anyway. But backline and goalkeeper, Sam, our goalkeeper room this year, a little bit different as we go into the season. Just one difference from last year.
Yeah, so starting off, you got Roman Celentano, and then you got Evan Loro, and then we haven't really quite got a club announcement from it yet, but from everything we've seen so far, we've got Fabian Mrozic coming in from Liverpool, so he could potentially be that third goalkeeper. And then Ryan, walk us through what the center back kind of lineup looks like.
Well, quickly before I go to the center backs, obviously we see Roman as a starter. We've kind of touched on this a little bit earlier on, but I think Leroux will feature in maybe some cup competition, as that Leagues Cup, into early fall. But hey, again, a lot of people are shouting for him to make some starts, so maybe we'll see. For me, Sam, I'm going to guess that Celentano this year has about 10 clean sheets is what I'm going to go with. Do you want to lock in a number?
Yeah, I think, let's see, Celentano. I think he'll have double digits. I'll go 11 or 12.
Okay. A lot of confidence in the back line.
A lot of confidence in him.
Okay. All right.
He's a
I
good
like
shot
that.
stopper.
No, good shout. Center back room, again, slightly different from last year, but a lot of the same. Miles Robinson, our starter, probably our captain, unless Matt Miazga is out and healthy. Matt Miazga, starter, again, if healthy. Nick Hagelin, going to see a lot of important minutes this year. We always discount him and say he's not going to be a big part, but he's definitely going to. Teenage Hidebe, for me, again, starter. Like right now, I'm kind of reluctant to state that, but our only left-footed center back on the roster right now. So I think Teenage slides in and plays a meaningful part, for this team. His partnership with Bryan Ramirez will be interesting. And then Gilberto Flores, Sam, as the other solidified. So for 3 spots, we only have 2 real kind of backups. If we want to kind of put in guys that we've seen also play center back, I think Alvas Powell and then Kyle Smith could play some role there as the season goes on. And then, like you put here, FCC 2 guys. Andre Shirilla, we think at some point will, make that jump to the first team. He's been playing a lot and training a lot with them. And then Felix Sampson on loan from CF Montreal. So could be interesting to see those guys contribute. We haven't seen that yet under Pat Noonan, but don't you think Andre Shirilla at some point's got to make the jump?
No, that was going to be my hot take in the center back room. Is I think Andre Shirilla will be starting for FC Cincinnati by the end of the year, whether it be in Leagues Cup or down the road, and when we need that depth. I just think this kid's got a bright future, and I think Pat really sees it, considering he brings him up a lot more than the other center backs in the room. As far as he completely trashed Gilberto Flores for coming in out of shape. So we'll see, but that's kind of my hot take there from the center back room. But yeah, the rest of the squad obviously want Matt to be as healthy as possible, because if we get a glimmer, right, of Defender of the Year Matt Miazga, that's going to be the best version of FC Cincinnati immediately.
Yeah, no, I think that's the key for the center back room is, we need a guy that commands the back line, and we've seen what it looks like when he's not there. And hey, we made the club choice to bring him back. Clearly they knew that he was having surgery and cleaning out his knee and getting him ready to go for the season. So hopefully sooner than later we get him back out there. But Sam, as we walk through the outside back / wing back, this will be the last part of the position group we'll cover for this episode. Bryan Ramirez is the big one that stands out, obviously. Left wing back, our starter. For me, I expect him to contribute heavily. I think, from all I've seen, he's going to be a solid player. I might be a little high in this expectation, but 6 goals for me and 8 assists. I really feel like he's going to contribute a lot. Ender Echenique, also starter on the right wing back. I expect maybe 5 goals and 5 assists for him as well, but a spark plug down the side.
Yeah, I think both are, have the potential to have, probably the biggest seasons out of any FC Cincinnati player as far as their expectations and what they can produce,
That's a
right?
good shout.
I think obviously, like, we know what we get from Evander, we know what we get from Denke. These two, on the wings could be those pieces that we've been missing. I know we had talked about a lot, the rotation of our wingbacks the past couple of years. It's been a rotating door, right? We really haven't found people, whether it be the quality or people leaving the squad, right, because of their quality. So yeah, I think these two guys, the expectation is that they'll get at least maybe in all competitions, maybe double digits as far as the contributions there. But yeah, we'll see. And then as far as the rest of the wing backs or the outside backs would be, like you said, Kyle Smith, Alvas Powell, and then possibly Mboma Dem, playing out wide. I think you had mentioned, teenage being the only left-footed center back. I think that's where Kyle Smith kind of comes into play and can help. In that, is he left-footed? Is he right-footed? I thought he was
I
left-footed.
think he might be right.
Is he right?
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he is.
well, then he won't be able to help. But yeah, I think you're missing maybe one more piece
Yeah.
out wide. It just
Do you think
doesn't.
Dotto gets a shout there? I know they kind of flirted about that. Like Dotto was like, "Hey, I'll play
It
wingback if I'm
I
not
would
on the
feel
field."
so bad for Dotto if he becomes the new Kubo, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just gonna stick him and I would just, especially
No,
for
I totally agree. I'm just
a
saying,
young
just
kid
get him
like
on the
that,
field.
right? I think that could diminish his growth as a 10 because we've
Right.
seen him,
Yeah.
really excel as a 10. I would hate to kind of see him passed around like that, but yeah, I think maybe one more person outside would be helpful.
So, Sam, you kind of put on our outline here. Who could be added to this group then?
Yeah, I mean, as far as additions, we've seen, at least last season, right? We had 2 or 3 free agent signings. I know Brad Smith and Kamara were the 2. Maybe
Mhm.
those were the only 2 last season, but it is something that FC Cincinnati has done in the past is, since that window is until March 26th, you have a lot of time, which do you assess it now? Do you assess it, a couple games into the regular season? So that way, where you're going to be at depth wise, but a couple guys who are still free agents that could be, helping the back line. Kyle Duncan, 28 years old, right back / winger, previously with New York Red Bulls, could be a decent shout. And then Sam Junkwa, 29-year-old left back, can play center back as well, was previously with RSL. So those are 2 guys that I just, you look up on the free agent list and go, hey, is he still, does he need work? Like, so those are just 2 guys that I had seen.
I think like having solidified like Alvas Powell there and Kyle Smith like last year, like who was the backup left wing back? It was Luca Orashano and it was, Engel, so this year I maybe feel a little bit better about that. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the position that you look at and say like, all right, but if all else fails, like where do we go to?
Yeah.
Athletic people that can play defense and offense. I mean, that's such a tough position.
Especially
And
the way they want to play and everything too.
right. Yeah, so we'll see with that. Reminder, the primary transfer window for the MLS, it is going on now until Thursday, March 26th. So we have time, to add some players. We talked about it in prior podcasts, like no idea if Chris is going to exercise that. We do have a little bit of flexibility, not a ton, but some flexibility. Does he wait until the summer? I don't know. We'll see. I think he wants to kind of see how the beginning of the season goes.
Yeah, I think so. Like I had said, we did that last year, right? Where it was like, hey, we know we need help up top. Oh, hey, let's
Right.
bring in Kai Kamara, right? So I could potentially see that where you feel out the roster a little bit, and then you fill some holes where you think it's needed.